The other thing I want to say as well is, particularly when it gets round to praying for our friends, which is so important, particularly if we get the opportunity to pray with them, is remember that we're introducing them to Jesus. In one sense, it's not, our prayer isn't some magic trick that helps them. It's because we're communicating with the living God, who's actually available for that friend of yours, whether you're there or not. So the other day I was walking down the street and I bumped into somebody who was definitely more than a chance encounter. I could tell that we met in a cafe, got talking, but there was just some particular signs that we were meant to be chatting. And I followed up on that. We got each other's numbers and we keep in touch. And I bumped into him and he shared with me a few things that are really going on within his family. Some relational tensions, we all know that. And I felt like all the way through the conversation, okay, there's going to be a moment in this where I offered to pray for him, with him in that moment. But in the end I didn't, and I sensed the right thing to say was say to him, you can pray about this stuff. And he said, what, I could just pray about my relationship with my child? I said, yeah, you can. Don't have to do it now, but perhaps when you go inside and you find a quiet moment, pray specifically for reconciliation, a better relationship, a clearing of the air, see one another in a better light with your daughter and see what happens. And he said, well, if God answers that one, I'll come to your church. I said, look, mate, I've got no other agenda here. This isn't about, trying to get bums on seats at our church. It's funny how people sometimes think. I said, look, I believe God wants the best for you and your daughter. So why not pray and see what happens?